Hello, citizen developers. Today, we will explore various roles that are necessary in a workflow-based system. So in a workflow, if you think about it, there is always the person who does the task, who does the work, right? Like for example, in this workflow, we have three steps or three tasks, right? And it is assigned to one person, John Doe here, right? So this person is responsible for doing whatever is in the instructions here, for example, right? And he will do, he will record all the information as required, right, and save it. So now that is a role, that's the performer, task performer, right? But you could also have roles like person who will review the work. Like if you see here, for example, this was reviewed. Since I set up myself as John Doe, who will do the, who's the task performer and who's also the task reviewer and the task acceptor or task approver, right? So that's why you're seeing that it got reviewed and accepted again, right? In the past year. So how do we set it up, right? So let's close this one here, right? This is our process, medical content development. So let's go to set and choose that medical content development process. And um, actually, let's go, okay, we can go here, right? And then let's find the step number one and choose the user. There is John Doe here. If you see here, John Doe, that's me, is set up as the task performer, task reviewer, and task approver. And generally speaking, it's not one person who's going to do all of these things, right? The person who's the task performer is not going to be the person who's reviewing the code, for example. I just did it for keeping it simple so that I could show all the three, right? I could also add a user and then do the same thing, but then let's keep it simple this way, right? So you understand how it works. Um, so uh, let's look at the second step, right? Second step also has a very similar thing setup, right? So I am gonna be a task performer, the task reviewer, and also the task approver. So since it's already set up, right? All we have to do here, right, in the task, if I go here, let's find one of those. Let's find this guy, right? So now this is what is the step? This is step number two, right? Step number two, there is no review yet or acceptance yet. So we could probably use this. I think step number one already has, right? The work is done, it was reviewed, it was approved or accepted, right? So now, um, if I see here, this is 3093, right, which is our process ID here. If I close and look at the reviews, I have no reviews here and no approvals. There's nothing waiting for me to approve or to review here, right? So now to bring it to review, to kind of, set something for, put something in my dashboard for review, what I'll do, this is the step number, two, right? So let's say what am I supposed to do here? I'm compiling some content to a presentable format, right? That's my work, right? In this task. So I do whatever I have to do. I'll attach the file, for example, right? Um, I could just attach something right now, right? I'll just attach some text file. Okay, that you say that you see that it's kind of you attach it. Let's give it a minute. It's taking some time. So let's try it again. Yeah. So I attached it. And um, let's go now. Since I've done the work, right? There's nothing else required here. I will mark it completed pending review, right? So once I do that, it is gonna go to review. So save this, close it. So now the person who is set up as the reviewer would actually go and look at his review dashboard and he sees a task here waiting for him to perform the review. So this person will go here and he's gonna, download this, I'm sure, right? Download and check this particular file, right? And, um, verify everything is done properly, right? Because he's doing the review. So once he's done with that, all he does is he just goes and says, review completed and saves it, right? So close. So see, it goes away from here. Review is done. There's nothing waiting for my review. So let's go. And now uh, the approval status is right next to it. If it is set up as approver, for example, I mean, it needs an approval, right? If you look at the status here, review is completed, right? And it shows it over here, right? So, and In the approval, it has come to approval now because review is done. So this is all, optional, right? You could have a review and approval. So once the review is done, the approval kicks in right away, right? If you do not keep approval, it will not be here. For example, it's all about how you set it up, right? So now it is there for approval. Now, let's say I'm the manager who's going to approve this particular, whatever it is, right? Here is the medical content. It could be some design I'm approving. It could be most likely something like a budget or something, right? That I have to approve, right? Let's just go and mark it approve here, right? So when I do that, it's also going to change, the status also, right? So let's save this, right? And close, right? So now let's go there, go here, see where it is, right? So now I think, yeah, now it's coming to step 3 because my step number 1 and 2 are done because we finished it, right? So it's going to show this, for example. Let's go and check what happened here, right? So status change to accepted, right? Because we approved it already, right? So that is your, status for that approval. And let's see what else here. I think that's it, right? And so once, whenever you mark it completed, or, like for example, here the completion is all accepted, for example, right? This is the end result here, for example, right? So it is going to, clear it from the dashboard. So you don't see it now because what we did here, we actually came to the other task that is remaining on this one, only 13093, right? Which is taking me to step 3, right? Step 3, right? Now this is converting content to AI, right? So now this is again here also you could do very similar stuff that we did before, right? Mark it up to and complete it, for example, right? So once you're done with that, if you go and see what is already completed, you see this. I completed 2 tasks, right? This one is accepted. Yeah, I think I did one, right? Yes. So it's accepted and it's done. So you see that. Okay, let's see. So that's about it actually, right? Task performers, task approvers, and task reviewers, right? 3 different roles. You would always set them up by going here, choose the process, and this step, and you could set them up. You can add users. When you add a user, for example, here, right? So I think he's gonna get all the roles. Then you can kind of, go to open it here, select that user from the drop down and then make him a approver or a task reviewer, right? So let's just keep him task reviewer right now at this point and then do that. So it's gonna update it. I think it's gonna say here saved, right? So that's about it, folks. So have a good rest of the day. We'll see you again in our next training session. Thank you.